You know more about this than I do,
Yes.
but just to start it off.
Yeah, you're the boss. Yeah, let me stay.
So before we
Over there?
Yeah, thanks.
Is this on camera too?
This is audio and video
Yeah,
recorded,
okay.
just for the records, 3:28 PM, September 6, 2013. Copy will be provided after the interview.
I appreciate it.
We'll run this as a backup just in case there's an issue with the.
Okay, so we're on the record now, but this is a
Yes.
backup
In
and,
the event we have any technical
okay,
difficulties.
so, yeah, if you can give me a copy of this whenever it's convenient for you, that would be terrific.
Yeah.
You ready, Tom?
I sure am.
Okay, for the record, my name's Norman Zook. I'm a detective lieutenant of the Massachusetts State Police and assigned to the Essex County District Attorney's Office. Today's date is Friday, September 6th. It's 3:29 PM. We're at the Lynn Police Station on the second floor outside the detective's office. This is being recorded, and video recorded as well, audio and video recorded. To my left is Captain Mark O'Toole from the Lynn Police Department. He's captain of the detectives. To his left is Sergeant Steve O'Connor. He's the sergeant of the state police, assigned to the DA's office as well. To your left is your attorney, Tom Dressler, and he's here on your behalf, representing you, and whatever may come up here. And you are?
Officer John Robert Bernard, Lynn Police Department.
And Robert, how long have you been a Lynn police officer?
Going on 7 years. First name's John.
Oh, so it's John Robert, right?
Correct.
7 years, and you are how old?
32.
All right, John, yesterday, you were on duty?
I was, yes.
You were in full uniform with a badge displayed?
Correct.
Right. At some point, you dispatched over 46 Newcastle?
Dispatched to 115 O'Callaghan Way
115 O'Callaghan.
on a disturbance outside.
Okay, what time was that?
10 in the morning, between 10 and 11.
11 and 16, some?
16, okay.
More accurate.
More than 10, correct.
Okay, so you get dispatched over there, and once you take it from there?
We get dispatched, I'm working single man, car 11, by myself. Dispatch came out, disturbance outside 115 O'Callaghan Way. There's a male party, Hispanic, wearing black shirts, no shirt on, yelling and screaming outside. Causing a scene outside, yelling at cars passing by. I roll up on the 115 O'Callaghan Way, car 17, which is Officer Hilton and Officer Scally. They also arrive on scene at the same time. There's no disturbance outside at that moment. I get out of the patrol car, I go up to 115, check inside the lobby, there's nothing going on. I'm walking back to my car, and at the end of the building, a male subject, a white male, was kind of yelling over to me saying, over here, over here. So I walked towards him along with Josh Hilton and Scally, Officer Scally. And along with the male, there was a female party, and I asked them what's going on. And they said there was a Hispanic male wearing black shorts, yelling and screaming at cars, punching himself, punching his hands. They were just not sure what was wrong with him, but they stated that they didn't know who he was. I asked if they knew who he was. They said no, but he just went into an apartment located directly behind them. They pointed out an apartment and which door it was. I asked them if they knew them, if he knew him, and they said no, they don't know him. I still don't know who those two parties were. I believe they might have worked for King's Lynn. I'm not sure. At that time, myself and Officer Hilton and Scally walked towards the building that they pointed out. The buildings are lined up. It's part of King's Lynn. They said the apartment is on Newcastle Street, and they're lined up as townhouses side by side. they pointed out the rear door of the apartment buildings of which the male went in. And they say that he went in as soon as he saw us roll up. At that time, walking, I took Josh, took the back rear door. I took myself and also Sky went to the front. As we're rolling around, a mailman stated to me, hey, that guy that you guys are probably here for is a Denis Reynoso. He's a combat vet, and he might have post-traumatic stress. He's been out here all day yelling and screaming at other people, causing a disturbance. So at that moment, my alert went up a little bit. Not sure what we're dealing with yet. We still don't know what we're dealing with yet. At that time, we got to the front of the house. The mailman said it was like 46, so we went to 46. As we're rolling around, I can hear screaming coming from an apartment building, from the townhouse, and it was coming from 46 Newcastle Street. At that time, we went over the air. Gave out the address of where we're at 46 Newcastle. I can still hear a man screaming inside, yelling and swearing. Not sure who he's talking to. Not sure if there's anybody else inside. So at that moment, I hear him yelling something about fuck the police. Fuck the police, and then was just talking to somebody. We're not sure if he's talking to somebody or talking to himself, but he was just screaming. At that time, I knock and announce, Lynn police, Lynn police. Then position myself, back off the door because we still don't know what we're dealing with. At that time, a male subject swung the door open and started screaming, what do you fucking want? What do you guys fucking want? You cops don't need to be here. It was the male party, Hispanic male, wearing the black shorts, no shirt, fit the description of the party that the male and the female first gave out, and then also the mailman. So this person fit the description of the person we were interested in causing disturbance. I tried to talk to him. I was trying to talk to him, sir, what's going on? Lynn police, we're here to help you. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Still not sure of what's going on. We don't know if there's anybody else in the apartment. My level awareness started going up. My concerns for, is somebody hurt? Somebody else inside? He was still kind of agitated, kind of being aggressive with his words, just swearing at us. I don't need your help. I don't need your fucking help. And then he kind of just turned away from me and kind of walked away. At that moment, I was concerned for anyone that was in that apartment because we still don't know what's going on. He's yelling and screaming. I heard yelling and screaming before we even opened the door. I don't know who he was talking to. There might be. I know that the Kingsland is a family family housing. So obviously there's gonna they're giving to families. So I don't know if there's someone in there, family. And anyone could be hurt, I'm not sure yet, because this person was acting in a manner that a known person would be acting. I wasn't sure if he was under the influence of anything, but he was just acting, he was talking to himself as I was trying to talk to him, as if he was not there. Like as if he was somewhere else, a war, or yelling. It was just weird how he was yelling and screaming. As if he was fighting somebody else, screaming at somebody else, on top of screaming at me. So as he walked away, my concerns for him, safety, like do a well-being check on him, anyone that's in that house. I was concerned for the neighbors. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I don't know what he was doing, what he was going to go for. There could have been a weapon in the house, but I was basically crossed that threshold to do a well-being check on anyone that was in that house because it is a family housing. Like I said, he was screaming at somebody in the house before we even got in, before I even knocked it out. So I followed him in to the house, and myself and Scally walked in and just followed him into it. And there was a hallway, there was a kitchen straight ahead. He kind of went into a living room, which was right to the right, and sat immediately on a couch. probably not even five feet from me. But he sat on the couch, on the edge of the couch, still yelling and screaming, well, I don't need your fucking help, I don't need your fucking help, what do you fucking want? At that moment, I was like, sir, you know, we're in police, we're trying to help you, I'm trying to, what's going on? What is wrong with you? And at that time, I was like, Scally, go let Josh in, open the back door. As soon as my partner, well, not my partner, but also Scally walked behind me and out of sight and into the kitchen, out of nowhere, the subject jumped up immediately and attacked me. And as he was jumped up at me, he goes, I'll show you what the fuck's up, I'll show you what you're gonna do. And just kind of attacked me, lunged at me at my waist. And I immediately was now trying to defend myself. Wasn't sure what he was doing, I was just trying to defend myself against him. I immediately put my hands, slide him, because he kind of tackled me against the back of a wall. I slid my hands underneath him, kind of scooped him underneath and spun him around and kind of put him in a position where I could have control of him, from him resistant from fighting, just get control of him. I had one arm up near his head, and my other arm was underneath it, and I had him kind of in just a holding position to try to restrain him from fighting any longer. And then the next thing I knew, I had a gun touching my head. As soon as I saw that, I yelled, gun! And I grabbed the gun of the barrel, and as I pushed it, he pulled the trigger, and the round went right over me. Came up, I put it up, now my two hands are on it, and at that moment, you know, I'm yelling at him, stop resisting, and he's just laughing at me, ha ha ha, just laughing at me. I'll fucking show you. And then now I remember, Scally, I believe, Scally came up to my left, and all of a sudden he grabbed the gun as well. And now all four of our hands were on it, 5 hands, because also Scally's both hands, my hands, and also the subject's hands were on it as well. And another round went off. At that time, I started kind of punching him in the face, not in his face, but the back of his head, trying to, you know, get him to stop while yelling, you know, let go of the guns, let go of the gun. And he's laughing at me as I'm hitting him to try to gain control of him. At that time, we're still fighting, and all of a sudden, Josh Hilton, I don't know where he came from, came up and he goes, you know, he came in and we're still fighting, and he fired 2 rounds, and there's still 13 rounds in here, and now I'm thinking that we're still fighting this guy, and he's still got 13 rounds. You know, I felt, like I said, he just had the gun to my head, so I'm thinking I thought I was gonna fucking die, and if I happened to just grab it real quick and prevent him from shooting me in the head, and then he was able to get another shot, and he was still fighting and yelling and screaming, ha ha, you're gonna fucking die, and he's still fighting, and Josh comes in, and he's now to my right, and now we're against the wall, because when this first happened, he tackled me into the corner of the TV, and now we're in the corner fighting him, trying to get this gun away from him. And Josh came in and was like, I was like, Josh, shoot him. He goes, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm like, shoot him. Because I'm in fear. Like, he's already fired 2 rounds, 1 round in my head, and he's still got 13 rounds in the clip. And now I'm worried for, you know, 2 rounds just went through the ceiling. I don't know who's upstairs. I don't know if anyone else is in the house. While we're in the corner fighting, I hear screaming as if a kid was screaming and yelling and crying. And I thought it was my partner, because I thought my partner was crying and screaming. And I thought he got hit, but I still wasn't sure. We're still fighting with this guy. And that's when I tell Josh, shoot him. And Josh goes, I'm gonna shoot him. I go, Josh, shoot him. And so I moved my position. Kind of pushed him out of my way. And all I remember is, I hear the pow, Josh shoots him, the guy lets go of the gun and falls to the ground, and still laughing at us. I regained control of my gun, I put it in my holster. Josh, as soon as the guy's down on the ground, he's still laughing at us, still screaming at us. Josh then immediately applies pressure to the wound, where he shot him in the left rib cage, I believe it was. Applies pressure, we start providing medical treatment for the person. And at that moment, he's still trying to fight with us. He's still trying to, fight with Josh. I immediately, at that moment, as I poster, I kind of turn around, and all of a sudden I'm hearing this crying still, but it's not Officer Scally. I turn around, and all of a sudden this kid behind us, this person puts a blanket down over his body, and it's a little baby, like a 2-year-old male boy. I immediately grab the kid, pick him up, hand him to Officer Scally, and I tell him to take him out of the room, take him upstairs. He takes him out of there, goes upstairs. And Josh is still trying to apply pressure with this guy, still trying to fight. Now I'm trying to help Josh with this person, trying to, hold him down while we're providing pressure. Josh calls out over the air, we're gonna need ALS here, we got, I believe, shots fired. At that moment I remember going over the air saying, shots were fired, but we're okay. I believe I did say it over the radio. I'm not sure how I said it, but I did say shots were fired and we're okay. So now we're still fighting with him, wrestling with him. Scally's upstairs, then other officers came, assisted with the person. ALS arrived, BLS arrived. I went upstairs to Scally. I patted him down, made sure he was okay. I checked him out, I said, "Are you okay?" So I started patting him down. I patted his whole body down, making sure, checking he wasn't shot or anything like that. Then we did a thorough sweep of the second floor, because we still weren't sure if somebody was hurt upstairs, if there was another person in the house, if there was another, anything. We did another sweep, quick sweep, and at that moment, I even checked the room where the rounds went up, and I believe that was the kids' room in the corner of the front of the house. But no one was there. We did it, like I said, protective sweep, and no one was there, no one was in the bathroom. And so I went back downstairs to assist, and Officer Scally stayed upstairs with the baby until we were directed, once everything was done. This guy was still fighting. We had him, he was still yelling and screaming at us, fucking swearing at us, while we were holding him down, trying to assist him and get him help. We finally got him a stretcher and we got him out, and then sergeants came on scene. Well, sergeants were already on scene, and then from there we went up to the hospital. But I thought I was gonna die when he put that gun to my head, and I didn't realize it was my gun until I didn't even know my gun got taken out until it hit my head, and then I lifted it up and the round went off, and then I looked at it and I saw a flashlight and realized it was my own fucking gun that he took out. And it happened so fast, my gun was in my holster, locked in, and it still somehow got it out. And we were fighting. It happened so quick, but we were fighting for our lives right there. And this guy was ready. He was laughing, and he even said, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Laughing the whole time. And he pulled the trigger. He pointed at my head and pulled the fucking trigger, but I just happened to move the barrel before he did. So that one round and the second round, I felt that when I told Josh to shoot him, we were fighting for our lives right then and there. And there was no other way, because he was not letting go. He had a grip on that, and his finger was on the trigger, and he was still pulling it. And like I said, he already got 2 rounds off. I don't know if anyone else is upstairs. My partner, I thought he was shot because I heard screaming. I thought it was him. I don't know how my gun got taken, but it happened so fast. And then come to find out, like I said, we went in there, combat vet. So even when I first went in there, I'm a combat vet, and I tried to talk to him, vet to vet, and he was not there. He was not even here when I was talking to him. I don't know if he was on anything, I don't know. But I tried, and he didn't even hear me. He couldn't hear me. He didn't want to hear me. I don't know what it was.
So the 2 people out front, if you saw them again, you would know them, right?
Yeah, the male and female, correct. Yes, and the mailman.
So there are 3 people altogether?
Correct, the 3 people that made statements about the person.
You got the opinion that the female, or both the male and female, worked on the staff there?
I wasn't sure until, right, they had a shirt on with, I
Okay.
believe, some kind of maintenance.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure who they were.
Okay.
But they, like I said, they said there's a mail party and, you know, they said they didn't know him. As far, I asked her and she said, I don't know who he is, so.
You just described, you said there was nobody there. What's the best word that you could use to describe his demeanor? Or you looked at him, and what was your assessment after you looked at him?
When I first saw him, when he came open the door, that we were dealing with, I thought, a AMS patient, somebody that was altered mental status. He was not, his eyes were wide open, dead stare, looking at me, like, almost ready. We've dealt with these AMS patients all the time, but this is I've never seen one like this one. I've gone to sections all the time on AMS patients. This is the worst I've seen. When he looked at me, dead stare, and then when he was sitting on that couch, he was just dead stare looking at me, like I was not even there, and just screaming at me, and then screaming at somebody else, talking to me, and then talking to somebody else. So I knew we were dealing with somebody that could flip any second, somebody that could, it can go from here to volatile in a second, and I wasn't sure what I was gonna get out of this guy. So I tried to go, like I said, the mailman said he was a combat vet. I'm a combat vet, and I immediately wanted to try to talk to him and try to help him, because I did say that, hey, listen, I'm here to help you, all right, vet to vet, I'm here to help you. What's going on? And he was not having it. He's not there, as if he was somewhere else.
Now, in the house before everything happened, did you make any observations if anything was damaged or anything?
We didn't get a chance to. It happened so quick. Afterwards, the house was damaged. TV was broken. The kitchen was destroyed. The other room was destroyed.
And that was as a result of
Him before.
him before?
Correct.
When you were walking up there, did you hear any noises?
Just him screaming, and him yelling and screaming at somebody. And like I said, I thought he was. At first, I'm thinking, okay, this could be a domestic. There could be somebody else in there. It could be.
So he was speaking as if he was speaking
Talking
to
to
someone
somebody
inside
else.
the house.
Correct.
Inside the house.
Yes.
And how did you know that the damage was done by him? Or
People said that. Well, like I said, the neighbor, the people said as he went back in, they could hear things being thrown around, the female and the male.
okay,
As he went back in, they just could hear him still screaming. I believe it was the female who said that they could hear him throwing stuff around. I believe it was the female.
So your altercation was contained to the hallway and that front living room?
Correct.
That's it?
That's it.
You said the TV wasn't broken as a result of the struggle.
No, it was as it was running the struggles. When he attacked me, I shifted him around, turned around, and I brought him into the corner to gain control of him, and that we were in the corner struggling the whole time. So I don't know if we broke it,
Oh,
or it's
okay,
broken
okay.
before,
Okay, you
but
don't know.
we ended
Okay.
up into the TV,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Okay.
no, you're struggling with him. How big was this guy?
I'm 6 feet, 230. He was about 6 feet, 6'1", 2. He was a big guy, like 240, 250. I'm thinking a big guy,
How about his strength?
real strong. I mean, he came at me, charged me, and took me into the wall. And when I was struggling with the gun, I mean, he was still fighting with the gun. And when I was trying to gain control of him, and as I was hitting him, he was laughing at me as I was hitting him. But he was really strong. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty sized big guy, and I'm pretty strong, but he overpowered me. Right in by myself, he overpowered me right away. And I mean, he attacked me, and it just overpowered me. And I was able to gain control not really halfway gained control of him, and him and his right arm was still free, and all of a sudden the gun just came up and hit me in the head. The barrel was pointing right at my head, and then I immediately released it and grabbed it. I yelled gun, and then he grabbed the barrel and I turned it up, and as I turned it up, he pulled the trigger.
That first round, if you know where that one went up or where it went?
Cap, like I said, when I grabbed it,
Yep.
and I shifted, he pulled the trigger as I turned it up, so I don't know if it was at an angle or straight above me.
Okay.
But the second round was straight up, that I know, because we had I believe it was, because we had it straight up, the barrel pointed to the ceiling.
Okay.
What kind of weapon does Lynn PD issue?
We have a Glock 23, 40 cal.
And you've received training in that,
Yes,
and you passed your last
yes,
training? No, the holster, that's an issued Lynn Police Department
correct,
holster as well?
yes.
Is that one of those, like, twist?
No, this is a
holsters?
level 3 one. It has the thumb protector with the clasp and then a lock.
So it's hard to get out, right?
Correct.
I know they just gave that.
No one can just get it out, and I don't know. The guy he was a combat vet, so he had to have been trained in something. He knew right what to do. Somehow he got it right out like no problem.
But that's the newer holster?
Correct, yes.
And he had the gun in what hand?
His right hand,
His
because I
right.
had his left hand when I had him like this,
And you carry your weapon on your right hand side?
right side, yeah.
So you mentioned that you're a vet. Could you tell us your military
I
background?
was Marine Corps, 2000, 2004. I served as a sniper the whole 4 years. Marine Corps Scout Sniper.
And what was your rank
I got out as a sergeant, honorable discharge.
in 2004?
Correct. Served in during the invasion in 2003.
Anything left right now?
Yeah, the first round, you said you pushed him away. Is it possible that the round could have been directed downward?
Cap, the barrel hit me.
Okay.
Like it was
Yeah.
pointing right at me. I
Okay.
grabbed it.
Yep.
And like I said, I just pointed it away from me.
Okay, so it's
So-
possible.
Right.
Okay.
So, like I
Okay.
said, it was at me and I pointed
Okay.
it away from me.
Okay.
Steve?
No, I'll send it to him.
Was he ever handcuffed at all during the
Never.
treatment? Never handcuffed,
Never.
okay.
My gun did not, when I went in there, my gun was locked in, so my gun was not drawn at all.
Okay.
There was no guns involved until he pulled the
Okay.
gun, until.
Did the magazine come out of your gun at any point?
Yeah, I ended up picking it up off the ground afterwards. But I didn't know it was out until afterwards, cause
Okay.
when I got retrieved it, I tried to, get it ready, holster, put
Okay.
it back, and the
Okay.
mag was down.
Did you sustain any physical injuries, however minor, that
Just my.
could be photographed, that are visible? Anything visible?
Just my fingers, my elbow.
Okay.
You went to the hospital after?
We did, yes.
You received medical treatment? there?
Yes, my blood pressure is really high. I apparently have to go back in 2 weeks and get it checked out. They tested it like 6 times when we first got there and then we left.
Which hospital?
Union Hospital,
In Lynn?
yes.
When you guys pulled up, you parked your cruisers, went to the office, 115.
I pulled right up in front of 115.
Okay, did the cruiser stay there the whole
Yes.
time, or you didn't re-enter the cruiser and
No.
take it anywhere? Okay, so and once you got there, all the movements took place
Correct.
from there?
Correct.
No, your weapon, give us the chain of custody, with your weapon.
You guys took that at the hospital.
Okay, so you were, how'd you get to the hospital?
We were driven up by the sergeants.
Okay. And you go to the hospital and somebody from the state police took your weapon?
Could it went to Lieutenant Reddy,
It was Lieutenant Reddy and,
Detective Frampton?
correct.
Okay,
Okay, so you gave your weapon.
I put it into the box.
okay. And we have the old gun belt too, or?
The gun belt? No, I have my gun belt.
Okay.
You still have it now?
Yes, downstairs.
Yeah, we're gonna have to grab that at some point. How about your
It's
uniform?
downstairs as well.
Okay, we'll grab that at some point.
How much magazines?
Magazines are in my belt.
It's still in your belt? Yep.
But the one that was with the gun remained with the
It
gun?
remained with the gun, correct.
And it was the two people at the office said they didn't know the guy, but it was the mailman who said that he was that knew him and said he was
Correct.
a combat vet, okay.
Yes. He has post-traumatic stress, he stated he possibly has post-traumatic stress.
Okay.
John, we have a diagram that we got from the management over at Kings Lynn. I guess we're probably gonna be dealing mostly with the first floor.
Yes.
Looking at the first floor, that makes sense to you as far as the layout that you went into?
Correct, this is the living right here.
So
So this is all we dealt with right here.
all right, so, at the front door, he comes to the front door,
Rips it open,
and then where is he standing?
right here the whole time.
All right, could you
And
just make like a number one and then circle it? So number one's gonna represent that he meets you guys at the door,
Correct.
okay? Then what happens?
He's pacing back and forth, like I said, yelling and screaming, then walks away from me and walks in, so we fall right in behind.
Okay, well, you make a dotted line where he walks to,
There's a couch right here.
okay, and then, put number two for where he ended up. So he walks in there, represented by number two, and you guys follow him?
Correct, now we're at the threshold right here.
You're at the threshold, but he's over by the couch,
I'm at the threshold of the living room,
right?
right here, correct.
And he's over at number two.
Sitting on the couch, correct.
All right, so why don't you put number three is where you and, the other officers were?
Did you jump in, Lieutenant, when he was in the couch, did you happen to notice children's clothing and toys in the living room as well?
My eyes were on him. I did not notice anything except him, my eyes were on him the whole time.
Okay, so number three is where you're at,
Correct.
and what was the other officer's
He
name?
was right next to me,
Yeah, what was his name as well?
Officer Scally,
Scally, so you went Officer Scally, and now at number three,
correct.
okay. Then what?
I tell Officer Scally to go to the back door to let
Okay.
Officer Hilton in.
All right, so why don't you put that number four, is the Officer Scally, at the back door?
No, Hilton's at the back
Oh,
door.
okay, what number is that?
4, you just said.
All right, so Hilton's number four.
Okay.
Scally goes and opens the door for him? Okay. And then they all,
As soon as he walks as soon as he walks behind me and out of the view.
Yep.
The person jumps at me
okay,
and attacks me.
right?
At the threshold.
At number three again?
Correct.
Okay,
And he attacks me right here at number 3,
Yeah.
and we end up in the corner where the TV is.
all right, so
Fighting
why don't
for
you
the-
put that as, what, number 5 now?
Okay,
Number 5 is where you guys are now.
we're fighting in the
Fighting.
corner.
Okay. No, at that time, Officer Scally and Hilton come in as well?
After the first round went off,
So it's just you and him with the first
just,
round?
correct,
Okay, at number 5?
correct. I don't know what, like I said, after the first round, then I remember, then I see other hands come up, and Officer Scally comes up and he's on the far left of me. So it's the subject against the wall, then me, and then Officer Scally, so I'm in the middle, holding up the gun.
Okay,
Now all of our hands are on the gun, and then now I'm hearing screaming and crying, and then that second round goes off, and now I'm hearing screaming and crying. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if Scally got hit somehow. I mean, I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know. The gun was pointed up, and the round went up, so I wasn't sure if it hit something, ricocheted, hit him, some kind of fragment. I heard screaming, and we're still fighting. This guy's got 13 more rounds in the mag here, and one in the chamber possibly. Don't know.
so what side of your head is the gun on?
So now it's on the right side.
It's on your right side.
Correct.
So number 5 is gonna represent where the fight occurred.
Correct,
Where
in the
all
corner.
all the Lynn police officers were.
Correct.
With this subject.
Right. Now, and then Hilton came in. I don't know where Hilton came from. I didn't until afterwards. He came into the front door, and I didn't know that.
So Hilton eventually came through the front door?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's still, all of it happened right here. And then when Officer Hilton shot the person, he fell right into the threshold. Fell down and let go of the gun.
Okay, so why don't you put that as number 6, is where the victim fell to the floor.
Correct.
Then medical aid,
Everyone came and it was right there in the hallway.
No, a young child who arrives, where do you
I
first see
found,
him?
as soon as the subject went down, I was still hearing screaming, and I turned behind me after I holstered, and all of a sudden, the blanket comes unwrapped, and then I see the kid sitting on the couch on the far end.
Alright,
So the couch is long,
Okay,
and the
just-
kid was here, on the far end.
Why don't you put him as number 7, right?
Okay.
I think we're on number 7.
The child was uncovered his blanket, still crying. I immediately ran over, grabbed him, picked him up, and handed him to Officer Scally, and I said, take him upstairs, take him out of here. And he immediately went upstairs with him to the second floor. On the second floor landed and just stood him. He was here on the second floor the whole time.
Alright, so why don't you mark that as number 8, is Officer Scally and the young child?
Yeah, and then, like I said, we immediately provided medical aid and started, Josh immediately put pressure to the wound. I handed him socks and shirts that was right on the floor. He put it on there, and he was still fighting and swearing and had some resisting. And I was trying to grip him, hold him down, and then that's when 2 other officers arrived on scene, and then a couple other more, and they assisted with him. And that's when I called, I then went upstairs to check on Scally and the baby, and then to do a second sweep, because we still don't know. Like I said, 2 rounds were just shot. I don't know if there's anyone injured upstairs now, I don't know if there's anybody else upstairs, First I did was, as soon as I got up the stairs, I said, turn around, and I started checking my partner. I violated him, I patted him down all the way up, making sure there's no blood, no nothing. And then I checked the baby, nothing on the baby, and then I did perspective sweep while Officer Scally stayed with the baby. And like I said, it was just a quick sweep, I didn't see any bodies. I went into, I believe this is the child's room in the front.
Okay.
I checked here for, if anyone was in there, because I believe that's where the 2 rounds went up. No one was in that room when I did the sweep. I didn't move anything, I just looked in, went in, I didn't see anyone, no one was screaming, no one was crying. And then I went back downstairs to assist, while Officer Scally stayed upstairs with the baby. And we were still fighting with the person downstairs on the floor. Now we have him out, sprawled out, so still wrestling and fighting with us, screaming at us, and then talking to him, and then talking to somebody else, and he was just not there. He was still screaming and fighting with us, with the bullet in his body. He's still yelling, still screaming at us.
So from the time you walked in the door until the time that he's shot on the ground, how long do you think that took?
It felt like forever. I felt like it felt like forever, because like I said, when that gun was pointed at my head, and it just hit me, and I bashed it off, and I don't know.
At that point, did you know it was your gun?
No, not until I saw the muzzle and hit, and then as soon as I took it and I put it up,
Okay.
and then I realized it was my gun, because I saw the flashlight. As soon as I pulled it up, he shot, pulled the trigger, and then I realized it was my own gun. And then now I'm thinking, holy shit, we're fighting, and I'm gonna fucking die here somehow, and I gotta overpower this kid somehow, because this guy's a big guy, and he was still overpowering me. And then finally, I was scared, and I didn't know what all I was doing at that moment was just have my hand on that gun, just trying to keep it away from my head, and just keep it up, pointed up, because again, I don't know if there's anybody else in the house. I just wanted to keep it up. I didn't want to keep it pointed out, because now you got the neighbors outside. I knew right there that was the outside entrance, and I just want to keep it up.
Do you know if he had both hands on the gun, or one, or do you know?
No, like I said, Cap, I had him in a position with
Okay.
his arm,
Okay, so he had one hand.
so he had one.
Okay.
So I don't know, like I said, I don't even know how.
Okay.
I didn't feel anything on my gun. I didn't feel nothing on my waist. I didn't
He
feel
had
any.
full control of the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and because, like I said, I had it like this, and I see a gun in the hand come like this. Like, I had it like this,
Okay.
and it came right over my arm and next to his head, and
Okay.
it touched mine, and then
So radio transmissions, what do you remember?
I immediately called out the location because the initial call came to 115 O'Callaghan Way,
Okay.
and we were redirected to that address. And before I made even entrance and knocked it down, I even went over there and said, hey, listen, 11 in control, the address we're at is 46 Newcastle. I gave that out over the air. And Josh was at the back door, and I can still, like I said, I hear this guy screaming and yelling at somebody, screaming, and I don't know who he's yelling at, screaming, and that's when we knocked it and announced, Lynn police, and he's like, fuck you guys, fucking you, what do you want, I don't need your help. And then I knocked again, and that's when the door whipped open, and he kinda came out, but stopped right there, he didn't come outside at all. And it's kinda made an averted movement, and then it's just like, fuck you guys, and then just walked away. And at that moment, like I said, I was concerned for
Did
anyone
you
else.
try to close the door at all, or?
No, he touched it and then just walked away. He didn't close it, I didn't force it open, there's no force, he left, it was open.
Okay.
And like I said, I was concerned for anyone that was inside.
And you walked away with the door open?
Correct.
Knowing you,
Fall right behind him.
okay,
Correct, because he sat right on the couch and then looked right at me,
okay.
so.
And I think you said when he was on the couch, he wasn't objecting to you being there, he was more in a conversation with
Somebody else yelling and
Okay,
screaming.
okay.
And just swearing at us, fuck you, I don't need your fucking help. But he was sitting on the edge of the couch, like, just kinda pacing. Like,
Okay.
what do you know?
Okay.
And that's when I told Officer Scally, hey, go let Josh in through the back door. And then that's when the whole incident took place.
Nothing else done?
Tom?
I just want, did you and did all three officers, were they all in full uniform, badges, patches? and
Correct,
all
yes.
equipment to
And I announced Lynn police multiple times. And even when I was inside, I said, hey, vet to vet. I tried to talk to him. Lynn police, I'm here to help you.
Okay.
Vet to vet. And
Okay, thank you.
Could you just ask you to sign that at the bottom, someplace,
Yes, sir.
please?
All right, so John, do you have anything else you wanna get on the record that you think we should know, that I wanna ask you? Anything, looking at that diagram, is there anything that?
After, like I said, after he was down and everyone was here, I then went and did a protective sweep downstairs, and the house was destroyed, the dining room was destroyed. I saw medals of this guy on the back, in the back dining room.
Military?
Military medals, correct. Kitchen was destroyed, cabinets were broken, tables were tossed, bike was in there tossed, thrown around.
But that wasn't done by?
Not by us, no, because like I said, we only stayed in the living room, right here, right in the threshold. So, in the corner of 5. But I mean,
Did you ever have dealings, did you know him? Or
never, I've never dealt with
Been
this
to
guy.
that address before?
Never been there before, but I've
Okay.
been to addresses at this place, Kings Lane, and I
Yeah.
know that, it's family orientated and
Okay.
there's families there. and,
Okay.
So disturbance call became into a possible AMS, and we don't know what
Okay.
it is.
Anyone else that you would know that we should talk to, either,
Just that I only came across the 3
Okay,
people,
okay.
the male and the female at the main that waved us over,
Okay.
and then the mailman has us walking,
okay.
and that's it.
All right, John, anything else you think we should know?
No, not at all. Like I said, we were fighting for our lives. That was, legit. I've been to war, but this was a different fight, and I was more scared here than I've ever been in my entire life, and I've been to war, so I was scared, so.
Okay, so there's nothing else,
No, nothing else that I can think of. That's it.
okay, it's at 4:12 PM, and we're gonna terminate this,
Okay,
Lieutenant, Captain, what Paul's gonna do is go shut that down.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
I get a copy of that. We're all done with, yeah, diagrams, thanks. Hi, bud. Come in.